Hi, I'm James T. Kaiser, and Shmuptober continues right here on Kaisercade, and this is what you can expect on this episode.
On this episode of Kaisercade, cats, invaders, cheap shmups, and Superplays on DVDs? Yep, all this and more on this special edition of Kaisercade.
But before we get into all that, let's take a look at a game for the PlayStation 1. Well, I got this via PlayStation Network. Yeah, this is Sonic Wings Special. Sonic Wings Special is an interesting game, as it's both a new game in the series and also a celebration of the first 3 Sonic Wing games, aka Aero Fighters. You get to play as all, or if not, most, of the characters from the series past, including the Player 2 characters, all from the get-go. This game has a player go through a tough series of stages that also take from the best of the levels from the past games in the series. The gameplay system is very simple. You just have the shoot and special buttons, but each character does have their own shot pattern and special attacks, adding a lot of variety to the game. My problem with the levels is that there are way too many generic filler levels at the start of the game, and it takes a little bit to get to all of the good stages. Some stages are also way too short and end right as they feel like they were just getting started. Controls are very smooth, responsive, and ultra satisfying. But be warned, this game gets hard and also real cheap. Starting a new credit on some stages will send you all the way back to the start of that stage. Yeah, I have rage quit a few times because of this. I love the character selection in this, as they are just so weird, unique, and quite diverse. What other games let you play as a ninja, a Japanese pop star, or a dolphin? Graphics have a charming look with some well-designed levels that have some neat details to them. Animation is also very smooth and also clever in some spots. There was one part where the game got a little bit too flashy for me and hurt my eyes, and that was during this one boss fight, as no matter when you hit it, it flashes intensely, so people that suffer from epilepsy, be warned. The soundtrack has a very fun sound that goes well with the game, and put me in the mood to shoot down the bad guys. Overall, Sonic Wings Special is a decent little shooter, and a good installment in the series, but it is also a little bit flawed. If you've got a PS3, then you can just get this off the PlayStation Store real easy, but if you're after the hard copy, then this will cost you a pretty penny. I'm giving Sonic Wings Special a 73. While you are downloading isn't just a game, it's an experiment! An experiment that I like the idea of. For you see, this game is designed to be played while you are waiting for your other games to download. Sadly, the game itself isn't very good. It is a slow and basic shmup, where you play as a ship and shoot the other ships, and collect green pixels for points. The ship also moves and fires automatically. You can only control which direction it goes in. You can pick up new weapons for extra power, and you can unlock more weapons by collecting points. The gameplay's fine, but it isn't very fun or entertaining. Nor did it feel very rewarding to play. It's just too basic and boring.
Like this show.
Shut up, Orange Scarab.
Ah!
Graphics aren't anything that special. The ships are generic looking, and the animation looks like I am seeing a magnet slipping down a fridge door. The music is also very generic techno, but it works really well with the game, and I did like how the starting weapon firing sound goes well with the beat of the music. Overall, while you are downloading, isn't the worst game of all time, but there's nothing special with the game whatsoever. This is still an early access game, and hopefully it will get better in the future, but for now, best to ignore this title. While you are downloading gets a 45.
Don't hit that dislike button just yet, because up next on Kaisercade, we got kitties in Neko Navy, and Kaiser gives you his buyer's guide on getting the best shmups for cheap. All this on Kaisercade.
Space exploration had reached its peak. colonies of humans dotted vast stretches of the universe beyond our own Milky Way galaxy. Around one such colony, Exia, revolved a moon called Zol. Zol was a diplomatic spaceport of tremendous importance to intergalactic relations, but its gravity was unstable, causing serious problems for spaceships trying to land and take off. Repeated investigations uncovered a gravitational quirk in one of Zol's giant craters, and a search was made to discover the cause. And the cause was found. An unspeakable, horrifying discovery. From the depths of that crater there arose an alien life form of unimaginable size. A grave threat to all of humanity. This alien monstrosity was known as Zolgia. With his gargantuan size, Zolgia felt nothing as the little moon's defense force battled for survival. Zolgia quickly and mercilessly destroyed every structure on Zol. Then, he leaped into space toward the colony of Exia. On his present course, Zolgia will surely crush the colony.
And now we are back with more Kaisercade. Yay.
Meow, 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 Neko Navy, meow. Neko Navy is a comedic cat-themed game where you get to play as cats and must survive all 7 days of the week against 10,000 baddies that want you! That's right, you! Dead. Yeah, I can't say it's the most complicated shmup out there, and I can't even say much about the battle system, as all you do is dodge and fire. You can also shoot off special bombs once you've filled up a special bar by collecting cat heads. Yeah, cat heads. Yeah, that's all there is. There's no interesting twist with the gameplay. Is this a bad thing though? No, not at all. As it does nail the gameplay pretty well and the controls are smooth. The difficulty is varied, but good luck beating it on 1 credit. And speaking of credits, this game doesn't give you free play mode right out of the bat. No, you have to earn your credits. But thank goodness, it doesn't require many credits to actually beat this game. The graphics are very funny and cute, with a lot of things in this game having a cat theme. You'll see caterpillars, catcusses, and other cute cat pun-based baddies. The backgrounds were okay, but they didn't do much to make the game feel full. I really enjoyed the soundtrack. It had an old school arcade shmup feel that helped build atmosphere, plus it is good enough to listen to on its own. If you own this game on PC, then you can get the soundtrack as free DLC, and I recommend it. Overall, Neko Navy is a fun little game, full of cats and charm, and I really do wish that this one got an arcade port, as it feels right at home there. Neko Navy gets a 75.
Way in the ways of playing shmups. No need to shell out hundreds of dollars for certain hard-to-find imports. Some of these games have more convenient releases and are fair price these days, with the aid of downloadable services like Steam, PlayStation Network, and many other places. We're out of the dark ages now. Here are some shmups that used to be very hard and are expensive to buy, but can now be purchased much easier and at a fair price. There's a reason why I love the Arcade Archive series. It's full of heavy hidden classics, rare games, and shmups! There's quite a lot of them too, from Konami's Gradius series, Taito's Darius, the S&K releases such as Aerofighters 2, Polestar, and Last Resort. Hell, Nintendo even released one! And it's of a game that not many people have played as well. You can have an instant retro collection just by buying the shmups in this series alone. It's also worth checking out all of the other games in the series. Each game is cheap and costs about $10 each, and is available on all modern consoles and PC. Downside is that the selection of games in the series varies depending on the console and which country that you live in. Next dev is Triangle Service, and they have some great stuff on Steam. Okay, they have stuff on consoles as well, but that stuff is really expensive. Triangle Service makes some really fine shmup games that are a must-play for any fan. You've got the Zeal series with Zyzeal, Trizeal, Xzeal, and Delta Zeal. Each game has fast-paced action, tight controls, and a ton of things to blow up. Triangle Service also aren't afraid to experiment. They have some real oddball stuff, such as Minor Zero and Shmups Skill Test, a game that feels like a shmup version of Point Blank. The games vary in prices, but most of them are $11.99. And you can buy them in a collection for $54. That's a bunch of classic games for the price of one new release game, and the collection even comes with MP3 versions of the soundtracks. The legendary Cave Studios is also on Steam, but you don't need to pay legendary prices for these legendary games. You get the classic Spook 'em Up Death Smiles, the awesome Bug Fiend Mushihime Sama, and Dudonpachi Resurrection, a game where you fight a ton of robots and giant anime women. These aren't just simple ports of the games either. They are super deluxe editions with as many versions of the games as possible. These games are the most expensive of this bargain guide, as Death Smiles and Mushihime Sama are $20 each, while Dudonpachi Resurrection is $30, but they are still great prices and great ways of enjoying these games. I couldn't recommend Ikaruga enough in my review, and lucky for you, this game is also really affordable. No need to shell out lots of money for the Dreamcast and GameCube versions. You can play this on most, or if not, all modern systems, and only for around $10. This ain't the only treasure game you can enjoy for cheap, as on Steam, you can get Gunstar Heroes, Light Crusader, and Alien Soldier for $1 a piece. Yeah, I know those free games aren't exactly shmups, but for less than $15, you can have a collection of some of the greatest games made on Earth! And Light Crusader. Hello, people of Earth. Please stick around, because up next on this Kaisercade, we finally take over the show in Space Invaders Extreme. Yay! Hi, this is James T. Kaiser, host of the super secret Let's Play podcast. It's not a Let's Play, it's not a podcast, it's both. What? Haven't heard of it? Well, enjoy this clip then, and maybe that will intrigue you. Hopefully.
Eat it.
What the heck is he doing like that? I apologize for nothing really, but I just feel like apologizing. Oh, look, I'm gonna do this the hard-fashioned way.
They're gonna fart?
That's the super secret Let's Play podcast. You can check out the video version of it right here on my own YouTube channel. And for the audio version, you can check it out at www.emeraldrangers.com. Panic! Kaisercade's back on! Ah!
Space Invaders is a classic, but like a lot of relationships that last for 30 years, you're gonna need to spice up that sex life just a little bit. A spice that you revisit 10 years later. This is Space Invaders Extreme, a game that was released to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Space Invaders, and also to celebrate the 10th anniversary of this game. Double anniversaries all round. What this game does is takes everything good about the original Space Invaders and jacks it up to the extreme! Yeah, just like what the title says it does. The goal is still the same, it's just shoot and kill all the invaders and move on, but the waves themselves are different. You'll fight invaders of all shapes and sizes, and you even get power-ups by blowing up 4 invaders of the same colour, which there's a nice variety of. At the end of each world, there's also a boss fight, and these can get annoyingly tough. Remember the UFO that flies above the invaders in the original game? Well, it's still here, but they do a lot more than just give you points this time round. They can also send you to bonus stages full of tough but fun challenges. Beating a challenge will send you into Fever Mode, where you become super powerful. It may sound like a completely different game, but it's a Space Invaders game inside and out. They do not forget where the series came from. With that said, this is a fun little shooter, but just like classic Space Invaders, it gets incredibly repetitive and shallow, especially when it comes to the bonus stages in this game, as you'll start seeing them repeat very early on. The repetitiveness doesn't hurt the game that much, but it'll make you want to play this game in short bursts rather than long sittings. The levels are also perfectly balanced for short sessions. Each level is made up of a certain number of waves, and also saves on what level you are on as well. Controls are very smooth and responsive, and it doesn't take long to get the hang of this game. Any Tom, Dick and Constantine can play this one. The difficulty isn't too bad either, you have unlimited continues to beat the whole thing. The biggest downside to this game is that there isn't all that much to it, and I didn't want to come back to it after I had beaten all of the paths. Yep, it has different paths that lead to different endings, but there isn't much. I guess I could go back and beat my scores and raise my rank, but the novelty already worn off by then. The graphics are very fun and flashy. I just love how the old school looking sprites meet up with the modern day colouring and effects. It gives such a refreshing look on this classic game. The music in this game has a very fun techno sound, but what's more fun is the sound design itself. The sound of the bullets, the termination of your enemies, blend in very well with the music, and it adds on to the fun and experience, making me feel like that I was remixing the music. Overall, Space Invaders Extreme is a fun and good looking little game, but that's all it is. It's not a very deep game and is quite novelty driven, which isn't a terrible thing, but this game could use something a little bit extra to keep me hooked in. This game is good, but not great. I give Space Invaders Extreme a 70. Steel Dragon is a game where you play as a ship that must save the day from giant robots and also defeat their leader, a big giant robot dragon! Hence the name, Steel Dragon. The gameplay is chock full of explosive action, with levels filled with tons of baddies. The way the levels work in this game is quite different from those found in a lot of modern shmups. Actually, it uses a really old school level system to where the levels are made up of several sections and checkpoints. Nothing much to the controls in this one, you just fly around, shoot and get a special bomb attack. You can swap out your weapons by collecting coloured orbs, but I liked using the main weapon the best, as the other two weapons, well, they are too heavy on the homing attacks, sucking out all the fun and satisfaction of destroying all of the baddies, really dulling down the fun factor. The game is also a bit on the easy side. Well, until you reach the final level, as it is incredibly brutal and cheap, as you have to beat it all on one life. And yeah, it's not very easy to do. The graphics are incredibly awesome, with great looking levels, flashy effects, and a ton of different designs for the enemies. It's just a shame that the gameplay is average. The music is a bit weak in this one, it dulls down some of the atmosphere. Overall, Steel Dragon is a very beautiful and flashy looking game, but the gameplay is quite dull, and wasn't quite as fun as it should have been. I'm giving Steel Dragon a 56. Dragon! Damn, I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for giving those games those kinds of scores. But anyway, yes, it is I, James T. Kaiser, and it's time for another edition of what I like to call the Kaisercade Underground segment, where I like to take a look at things a little bit obscure in the gaming collecting community. Last time on the show, we took a look at a videotape, gameplay on a videotape. Yes, it was something from the pre-YouTube era. But it's not just videotapes from the pre-YouTube era, it's also DVDs. And yes, I'll be looking at another homemade release, or as they're called, doujin releases. Like I said, translates to fan releases, I don't know, I don't really speak Japanese. All I know is these little fan releases are called doujin releases. And what I'm going to be taking a look at today is B-Wings. There's the front cover there. I wonder what this game could be. Who knows? But I'm guessing it's a shmup. Otherwise it wouldn't be on Shmuptober. There's the thing. And there's the disc. Now, would the content on this be any good? Well, let's find out, shall we?
Yup, it's someone playing through all 30 stages of B-Wings for the Famicom, and it sounds exactly like you'd think. Very impressive gameplay skills, but very hard to watch. It's not an interesting game. It also doesn't help that this whole Superplay runs for 90 minutes. There are some good highlights that made me go, what the damn hell? But the majority of this DVD is just blasting through boring looking levels. Not to take anything away from the player though, they did an excellent job. The recording itself is also very crisp, clean, and ultra professional looking. I also never heard of this game before watching this, and it did get me curious enough to play it for myself. Despite that, I still like homemade Doujin releases like this, but for other collectors out there, this is a niche product of what's already a very niche thing to collect anyway, so this isn't on most collectors' radars. I'm just proud to have this sitting in my gaming media collection. I like the case and disc art. Rarity of this item is unknown, but I didn't pay all that much for it. You're just best playing this game for yourself instead of watching any video about it. Well, excluding that one, that is. Watch the shit out of this one. Woohoo!
There we go. Yeah. See, I told you I liked having this thing on my shelf. Sadly, that is it for this edition of Kaisercade. But don't be fully sad, as we are only halfway into the Shmuptober series. And here's what you can expect tomorrow on this special edition.
On the next episode of Kaisercade, I'll be taking a look at Game Tengoku. And I'll be taking a look at the retro-inspired indie shmups Xenodyne R and The Void Reigns Upon Her Heart. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, but if you don't want to do any of that, you can leave yourself a thumbs down and insult my intelligence. Just make sure to visit us at www.emeraldrangers.com while you're at it. Yeah, great, now I've gotten myself depressed. See you next time, guys.